Premier League football is back, and that means it's the return of Premier League predictions. We have got some corkers this weekend, the North London derby, but more importantly, the Manchester derby, where my club United will take on Manchester City. Hopefully, pray to the Lords, we can get a win in that game. Today might be the biggest episode yet as well. No disrespect to the other guests, I like them all, they were great coming on the channel, but we have got a massive guest this week. He's a person I watch all the time when he streams on Twitch, whether it's his TikToks. He's loved by everyone, really. It's ANGRYGINGE.
Hello, Max. Thank you for having me on.
The first game of the weekend is Arsenal versus Tottenham, the North London derby we were talking about earlier. Now, Arsenal and Spurs have both had very good starts to the season. They're winning a lot of games. They've had their little blips here and there. Obviously, Arsenal lost to us not that long ago as well. That was their little blip in the season. And Spurs, obviously in the Champions League, recently lost to Sporting. But if we're talking about the Premier League, this could go either way. It's a North London derby. I mean, it's a very big game. Arsenal are currently top of the table. Tottenham sit third. It could go either way. But I think one team will win it. I think Arsenal are going to win this game. I'm going Arsenal 2, Tottenham 1. I do think Martin Odegaard is definitely going to score in this game. Mark my words, he will score.
We are doing the Premier League score predictions and kicking it off. The London derby, Arsenal versus Tottenham. I think Tottenham are going to nick this 2-1 on the basis of Harry Kane is going to be unbelievable. And Heung-min Son getting that hat-trick last game. He's a cracking player. But I think Tottenham Hotspur 2, Arsenal 1.
Liverpool versus Brighton. I mean, Brighton have just got a new manager. Roberto De Zerbi has replaced Graham Potter, who's obviously now the Chelsea manager. But Brighton, we don't really know what to expect from them. Liverpool have had a really poor start to the season, but I think they're going to bounce back with a massive result at home at Anfield against Brighton. I think they're going to win this one. What should we go with? I think 2-0. A comfortable 2-0 win for Liverpool in this game.
Liverpool, Brighton. Now, the Scousers, they are in trouble, deep trouble. They lost at Old Trafford and they're bottling the whole season. They beat 9-0 Bournemouth, was it? Yeah, embarrassing. They've done nothing else since. I think Brighton, under new management, are going to bottle it, to be fair, because they're not got Graham Potter anymore. So I think Liverpool will win that game. I think it's going to be 3-0 Liverpool. What's going to go 3-1 then? 3-0.
Fulham versus Newcastle. Again, both teams doing very well in the table. Of course, Fulham, no one really expected them to be doing as well as they actually are. Marco Silva's he's working wonders, really, at Fulham. Eddie Howe at Newcastle, he's performing quite well on the sidelines. He's got players performing well, but during the international break, Bruno Guimaraes has obviously got injured. Sven Botman's had a little knock as well. So they've got a few of their key players out with injuries. I also think Isaac and Callum Wilson are out injured. So who's going to go up front? Who knows? At Craven Cottage as well, I do think Fulham might win this game. I'm going Fulham 1, Newcastle 0.
Fulham and Newcastle. Now, I like Newcastle. I like Eddie Hearn.
Hearn. Fucking this and he's done that and he's done that and he's done that. And
I like St. Maximan. Unbelievable team and unbelievable what Eddie Hearn's ended up doing. However, Fulham have got the big dog Mitrovic. And Mitrovic scores goals. That's all you need. He scores goals and he's unbelievable. So I think both teams are going to score. I'm going to go with a 2-2 on the basis of Maximan might nick one. Mitrovic will probably get one. And then other people will just jump in.
Southampton versus Everton is the next game. Again, I've been impressed with both teams this season. Southampton have really impressed me, picking up some decent wins here and there and obviously not dropping too many points. Whereas Everton just seem to be drawing week in, week out. But they did get a massive win against West Ham last time out. That's going to do a lot for their confidence levels. And they are away to Southampton. I can see this one being a draw. I think Southampton 2, Everton 2.
Southampton and Everton. Now, this is an interesting one because I know Everton have just beat West Ham and they're getting the form back. But Southampton are on the up as well. And I don't know why because I can't stand Southampton. But I reckon that... I don't know. I'm going to draw there and I'm going to go 2-2. I'm going to go 2-2 with that one.
Crystal Palace versus Chelsea up next. Graham Potter's first Premier League game in charge of Chelsea. And yeah, it could go, again, either way. Crystal Palace are a very good side, especially with Patrick Vieira on the sideline. Wilfred Zaha will definitely score. I think this one It's actually quite a tough game to call because we don't know how well Graham Potter's going to do at Chelsea for his first game. Crystal Palace seems to be hit and miss at times. I mean, it could go either way. And I think... No, I'm going to back Chelsea for this one. I'm going Crystal Palace 1, Chelsea 2. I think the Graham Potter era will start with a bang in the Premier League.
Crystal Palace, Chelsea. Graham Potter has only been in charge for one game. They drew that game. Crystal Palace and Patrick Vieira are running riot at the minute because what Vieira's doing is incredible. I'm going to go... I think Potter is going to bottle it. I'm going to go 2-1 Palace. I'm going to go 2-1 Palace.
Bournemouth versus Brentford. I mean, it's one of them games at the end of the day. Bournemouth still haven't got a new manager. I think Gary O'Neill is still in charge at Bournemouth, which is... It's strange. I mean, they had the international break to try and find a manager, and they haven't done it. Brentford have got players like Tony, like Mbeumo, who are up and firing this season, especially Ivan Toney. He's got to be up there, hasn't he? But I can see Brentford dropping points here. I do see a draw in this game. I'm going Bournemouth 1, Brentford 1. I do think Ivan Toney will score, but I think Philip Billing's going to score for Bournemouth. I know I'm being dead rogue with these players scoring, but yeah.
Next up, we have Brentford-Bournemouth. I can't lie, I don't think anyone cares about this game, but I'm going to go Brentford 2-0.
The Saturday night kickoff is West Ham versus Wolves. Both teams struggling so far this season. I don't think anyone expected these two teams to be doing as bad as they actually are, but yeah, it's come as a shock to everyone. Wolves have obviously got Diego Costa. Maybe he makes his first start for Wolves, his first appearance actually. We know what he can do in the Premier League. We saw him at Chelsea a few years back. But I do think this is the time West Ham turn their season around. They need a result, and I think they will beat Wolves in this game. I'm going quite high scoring as well, 4-goal thriller. I'm going West Ham 3, Wolves 1.
Next one is West Ham and Wolves to end the Saturday evening off. West Ham Wolves. West Ham on the basis that they bottled it at Everton and they lost 1-0. Probably shouldn't have lost, but they did lose, so it's irrelevant. I think they're going to come back. I think they're going to fire back, and I think Wolves are going to be in trouble. It could be 2-0. However, I don't know if the Wolves have got Diego Costa. If Wolves have got Diego Costa for that game, I'm going 2-1.
Now we're moving on to the big game, the Manchester derby, Manchester City versus Man United. Now Manchester City again have been fast and firing on all cylinders so far this season. They've got an attacking abundance and it's going to be tough to deal with. Will United be able to keep out Erling Haaland? I'm not too sure. There's no way Man City don't score in this game. They will 100% score. Whereas we were playing really well and I have predicted City to score, but our defence has been unreal the last 4 games. I think it's been, one of the best defences I've seen since I've been alive. Obviously, going back to the Vidic and Ferdinand days with Martinez and Varane. I'm not saying they're as good as them, but they just remind me of them. It's a very good centre-back partnership. Martinez's height and physicality is certainly going to be tested against Haaland this weekend, so we're going to have to see how he fares in that battle. But I think the midfield battle, I mean, you've got De Bruyne, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Rodri in the middle for City. You've got players like Eriksen, Bruno, McTominay, Casemiro for United. So the midfield battle should be very interesting, and ultimately it's going to come down to the attack. Personally, I think, I can see a draw in this game. I think City will score and I think United will as well. I'm going 1-1 for this Manchester derby, the first one of the season. Man City 1, Manchester United 1.
Then, here we are, Sunday, the Manchester derby. Now, I've got my United shirt in the background, Edwin van der Sar, my goat, De Gea glove, United ball. We are red through and through here. Not got a United shirt on though, shame on me. Anyway, I think United 6-2.
6-2.
No, I'm joking. I think for that game, I think the Pep Guardiola era is over. I do, I think it's over. And I think Erik ten Hag is here and he's arrived and he's ready. He's not here to fuck around. He is ready, I can assure you. And I'm going to go Manchester United 2, Manchester City 1. Come on, you Reds, I fucking beg the win.
Leeds versus Aston Villa is the late kickoff on the Sunday, and to be fair, both teams have started to hit a bit of form now. Well, I mean, Leeds were quite good at the start of the season, but they're maintaining that form throughout. Aston Villa had a really poor start, but then got that draw against City, starting to pick up wins here and there, and I think Villa maybe could sneak a goal here. Will they win? I'm not too sure. I think Leeds at Ellen Road are going to be too good, and I think they will beat Aston Villa 2-1 in this game.
And Leeds and Aston Villa to end on the Sunday evening. I think Leeds and Aston Villa, although Villa did well against City, I think they're going to I think they'll stay at the same level. So I'm going to go Leeds 3, Aston Villa 2. I think Villa will just lose that one.
The final game of the match week is Leicester versus Nottingham Forest. It's another local game, another local derby. I just think back to that game last season. I think Forest beat Leicester 4-1, was it, in the FA Cup? That was mental. That was a long day for Leicester. Leicester currently sat bottom of the table and Brendan Rodgers is under real scrutiny at the minute. Nottingham Forest aren't doing too well themselves either. Both teams flirting with relegation at the minute. But I think this is where Leicester are going to turn it round. I can see a Leicester win under the lights at the King Power Stadium on a Monday night. I think Leicester are going to win this one 2-0. I think James Maddison is going to score both goals. I've been really impressed with him this season. He's the pick of the bunch so far from Leicester. But yeah, I'm going to go Leicester 2, Nottingham Forest 0.
And then to end it off, Leicester versus Nottingham Forest. Leicester are in a shithole. Let's not take the mick here. They are, okay. However, Forest recently bottled a 2-0 lead to Bournemouth. So they're going to be down. They're not going to be as motivated. And I think Brendan Rodgers might nick a result here. So I'm going to go 3-1 Leicester. So that they are my predictions. I'm probably going to get every single one of them wrong, other than the derby, because United are winning. Come on, you Reds.
I'd like to thank ANGRYGINGE for hopping on the channel. I do appreciate it. What a legend he is. Maybe more collabs in the future, hopefully anyway. Anyway, guys, that is the end of the video. Hopefully you did enjoy. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.